bring in CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz for an update. George, it's great to have you back on the show. You know, the stock has been hit really hard lately off its highs. And yes, the whole market's going through this whole valuation reset on the Fed. But has anything fundamentally changed in your business or the outlook for 2022?
Well, when we think about cybersecurity, I don't think there could be a more important category. You can't have digital transformation without a security transformation, and the threat environment continues to get worse. So from our perspective, obviously, you're going to see markets are going to do what they're going to do. But from the overall trend, massive opportunity in cybersecurity and needed for every company in the world.
I was really interested in reading some of the notes that your team shared with us, George. We all talk about the supply chain disruptions around the world at the moment, and often they're put down to either geopolitical tensions or to COVID-related issues. But a lot of it's down to cyber attacks. Is that right?
Well, cyber attacks have had a major impact on organizations around the globe, certainly over the last year. We saw supply chain attacks happen at the end of 2020. This past year, coming into Christmas time, we saw a Log4j vulnerability, which was a massive vulnerability in a logging system that's used by many of the websites that we frequent across the internet. And that caused a massive disruption to IT departments around the globe just trying to get that patch. So you can see the impact of cybersecurity has in terms of just overall operations if something isn't secure and there's an immediate need to patch, which there was in this Log4j vulnerability. So certainly we did see that across the industry late last year.
What about competition, George? There's a fear in the market that some of these newer names, SentinelOnes and other startups, are going to be taking a piece of the market and specifically competing with you. Is the pie growing large enough, fast enough to accommodate a lot of winners? How do you view that competitive landscape?
Well, it's a massive market and, certainly opportunities for lots of companies. And at the end of the day, competition is not new in our business. So we've been competing for 10 years at this, and we continue to do really well. If you look at our third quarter results, almost 70% growth in annual recurring revenue to over $1.5 billion, $159 million in free cash flow, 17 cents of non-GAAP operating earnings. So we're in a great spot. We've got a fantastic technology that's being adopted by over 1,600 customers per quarter, and we like where we are, and we continue to focus on our execution.
Do you think there could be some consolidation, though, in the industry, George, or valuations too rich for that to be sensible at this stage?
Well, in security, there's always been this talk about consolidation. What you have to realize, though, is it's a very specialized field, and there isn't one necessarily gorilla in security. We happen to be a major player in endpoint and workload protection. There's network players out there, there's email players, and it's a very specialized technology, if you will. So where we see the consolidation happening is in some of the smaller private companies. We've done several acquisitions this year, including Humio, which is in the log management space. Preempt was last year in identity. And that's really where we see the consolidation. I think it's a little bit harder for some of the public companies at this point. And again, that's, remains to be seen where things go with valuations. But that's what we've been focused on in some of the smaller entities out there.
George Kurtz, thanks for joining us. Good to see you.